Hi everyone, welcome back to Creatively Crafted Life. This is Melanie and this is week 2 in Finish It February. I'm about to get started playing with this little mini kit, if you will. It is from Kaisercraft True Love collection. I've got a bunch of ephemera pieces, some paper pads. These paper pads are really great for making cards. You can see things like that would make a great focal point on a card or a layering piece. And they often have at the back little cut apart pieces that you can use to make sentiments on your cards. Same with these. So I think that's what my focus is going to be today, is to see how many cards I can make using what I've got here. And of course, the rest of my stash is always an option. So let me get going and I will share with you what I came up with. Okay, so before I get into showing you what I made, I'm going to show you what I have left. I used up all the pearls. I have a few of these foiled hearts. I am going to cut these out and put them in my ephemera binder. And the rest of the paper, I don't have much. I just have a bunch of scraps. I think 1 6.5 by 6.5 and then some partials. I am just going to recycle all of these. I made a lot of cards and I just don't feel inspired by this any longer. And the same goes for all these die cut pieces. They're either a little too mushy for my style or they're just sayings I would never say. So all of this is getting recycled. And I made 22 cards. Whew. Now, they are very simple cards and some of the designs are repeated and I'm okay with that. The point was to get these made. So let me just flip through these. So these are all basically the same design. I just swapped out papers and embellishment piece. You can see they're all basically the same. In an effort to use up more of the supplies, I did decorate the insides, which I don't typically do, but it's kind of fun to have that done. Some of them I actually put an ephemera piece on the back where appropriate. So that was the first style. This one's very similar. The only difference, instead of putting the ephemera piece here, I had a larger piece that I just put in the middle. The next bunch of cards are again very similar. It's my go-to design with pattern paper cards. I have bands of color and then some sort of embellishment and a sentiment. So these are the ones that I came up with for this kit. Very simple, just bands of color. And I just vary the widths for some variety. Now in this case, they had some border punch outs or border die cuts in the pack, and so I used that in place of a plain strip of paper. And then you can always take that same design and flip it the other way. So this is exactly the same concept, just bands of paper, but oriented a different way. And then I'll just show you what the insides look. And this one I actually put the full square piece in here and just allows room for sentiment. And I tried to coordinate the inside with the exterior to make it look cohesive. The next designs involved a piece of pattern paper that had a band of pattern at the top and at the bottom. And I just cut that in half, and similar to the previous design set where it's just bands of paper, this is the same, only I just made sure that this pattern lined up against the seam here, and I just think that looks really pretty. So these are all basically, sorry for the glare, that's what happens when you have foil. It's basically all the same designs. And again, the insides were just leftover bits of paper after I made everything. I also dug out a die. I thought it'd be fun to play with that. And again, I just layered them on. I actually started with this card, which I used the embossing folder on the back. But I just found there was too much white space, and so I navigated it with using the embossing folder, but that's when I decided to flip it. And while there's probably just as much white space, just having it off center I think just looks a little more interesting to me. And these are basically the same designs, just different focal points. And then the last card is a really traditional design with just a bunch of mats and one of the square mats, or one of the smaller mats, having the focal point inside of it. So that, my friends, is everything that I made for week 2 of Finish It February. I would love to hear how you're making out. If you're playing along, be sure to leave a comment below. And until next time, happy crafting.